I'm Daniel Sachs, founder and CEO of Landbase, and I use Whitefriar to build and manage my online presence. I've always been entrepreneurial. I co-founded AppDirect in the summer of 2009, which is a leading commerce platform for finding, buying, and managing technology. We're now over 1,000 people and approaching $1 billion in revenue. And throughout the phase that I've been a leader in business, I found that it's becoming increasingly important to manage your brand presence online. The stakeholders that you're looking to work with, the first thing they're gonna do is type in your name and try to find you and try to see what type of person you are. You wanna come up as a trusted thought leader in order to grow your business. When I first started, a lot of presence and credibility came offline. People would know you through someone, there'd be an offline referral, you'd see a billboard on the highway. But as the world has become more and more digital, your online presence is more important than ever. More people today are starting, not even just at a Google search, but also by asking an LLM like Perplexity or OpenAI about you, and you want to make sure that what shows up there reflects the brand and personality that you want for your business. And even more so in the future, AI agents are going to be able to understand who you are and vet you, and therefore what can be found about you online is going to be one of the biggest predictors of trust and of the ability for someone to want to trust you to buy their products. The other thing that I've seen as a trend is that founder-led content is really proliferating as a content strategy, and you need to be out there as an entrepreneur telling your story, making sure it resonates with people. And people don't want to just buy a random product, they want to buy from people they trust. So really telling these personal stories is a very critical part of business growth. When growing your business and brand, it's a constant process. One article of recognition or award 10 years ago is not gonna make the big difference for trust and engagement. You need a constant content calendar and a lot of things to show relevance in today's era. So I partnered with Whitefriar to really tell my story and to make sure that other people are telling my story. What I found is that if you talk a lot about yourself, it's not as strong as if other credible sources are talking about you. So one of the key things I liked about Whitefriar is they understand where your buyer is and they understand the relevant content sources to be able to get you positioned exactly where you need to be. And that way, it's not about me telling someone why my product's great or why I have the credibility. It's actually a network and series of people talking about you, which really helps bolster credibility and really bring out authentic storytelling. What's really unique about Whitefriar and what really drew me to Whitefriar is they have a product-oriented approach to telling your brand story and managing your brand's presence. So that way, instead of having a very structured, formal, expensive retainer model, you can engage with people and with an online experience that allows you to break through the noise, understand exactly where you can be found, who can tell your story, and it's far easier, far faster, far more value working with Whitefriar in this model than anything I've seen on the market. It's a very differentiated platform. I've worked with many traditional PR agencies and brand agencies in the past, and oftentimes they come with big teams, robust processes, heavy time investment. It's really hard for them to showcase the value they're going to bring. You really have to do that only built on trust and very unknown outcomes. Whereas with Whitefriar, it's platform first, product first. You get to see exactly the options of things that they can do for you. There's really fast wins and deliverables. They have a series of different products. It's really digital native. And as an entrepreneur who's really optimizing for time and value, they make it really easy, really efficient, and the value is beyond anything I've seen in traditional agency world. All entrepreneurs know the most important thing that you need is growth. And in order to grow in today's environment, you need the credibility and platform. And whether that's growth to sell to certain customer segments, to expand into new geographies, whether that's growth in order to get credibility to raise capital for your business, all these use cases require you to show up in a very strong and credible way on the web. And the more sites that are talking about you, the more people that's talking about you, the more that bolsters your credibility. And it needs to be timely and relevant. And I had never found a platform like Whitefriar that's able to do that in such a quick and consistent way, minimizing the time that I have to spend on my brand, but knowing that if my potential customers or potential investors or potential team members are vetting myself and the company brand, that we're going to be out there and that the message is going to be consistent with the brand that we want to portray. In order to grow your business, you really need to think about how you can bolster your online presence and ultimately your brand. And all the companies that I admire and buy from, I do it because they have a great reputation and I love the brands. You know, the consumer-based brands that you work with, it might be Apple, it might be Nike, it might be Tesla, but you might have some affinity or association to that brand. You know, the reason why those brands got to where they were was not a coincidence. It's because the founders were very intentional about building their business brand. But in today's world, the business brand is not enough. It really comes down to the trust and credibility of that entrepreneur or founder. And in order to do that, you can't just let other people talk about you without thinking about it. I'm one to really think about humility. I never want to boast about what I do or how I do it. But what I've realized is that you need to own your narrative if you want to be a trusted leader, and people and platforms are really important for that. So what Whitefriar did is not only helped me connect me with who I needed to get to, but the team there also helped coach me on the narrative and the story and who should tell that story to really make sure that ultimately I'm trusted. So therefore my company and my team and everything we're building toward is going to have the highest chance of success. And that's what's important with brand building in this era. It's not enough to just say we want to put out some performance marketing to generate a couple leads. It really is important that you own the narrative, so the different channels in which people are interacting with you are very consistent, and you can have this very predictable growth cycle. And in order to do so, you need to have consistency around your narrative. You need to have consistency around the timing and volume and content that's coming out. And you really need to make sure the bar is high. And Whitefriar enables us to do all those things. By having a stronger online presence, it makes everything in business easier. If you're reaching out to someone and they recognize your company brand or your name, they're more likely to reply. If you want to partner with someone, they're going to look you up, and the more credible you are, the more they want to engage. And just because you did something professionally 10 years ago doesn't mean that that's going to be relevant today. So you need to always be thinking about building that brand and credibility, and therefore to get the best ROI on brand presence, really you need to be telling your narrative. We've worked with Whitefriar since the beginning of our business, and today it's been transformative to the business at Landbase. Not only did Whitefriar help us come out of stealth mode and create a platform from the beginning, they've really helped us achieve real business objectives. We went from a company idea to coming out of stealth to raising a massive Series A and hiring a big team and having a really credible team, all because of that foundation that was built before we even came out. And we couldn't have done it without Whitefriar. I'm Daniel Sachs, co-founder and CEO of Landbase, and we use Whitefriar to build and manage our online presence.